Hey guys, it's Mike with another Guild Guardians free-to-play video. Today we're actually going to jump into the building blocks. So I did a free-to-play series that ignored this aspect of it, and so that'll launch on schedule as they have been, but I did want to make a special video specifically for this special event. So we're going to do the building blocks. We are needing to build an entire team of rare characters. So I'm going to probably piggyback on what I did on the main account. If you happen to see that video, it launched a couple hours ago. But we're going to take a peek and see the best way to put this together. So I think Batu, Toktan, and Ferulia were awesome choices. I think they all did really well. I think Zol getting us that extra 5% for this specific event will work out well also. And then I think I'm going to run Yalmar as another tank. So I think we're going to do a 2-tank just like we did before and see how that goes. Now today we can only go through, well, we can buy as many, I think we could buy 5 tickets. But we get 2 for free, and then they're pretty expensive on the rubies. So today we're just going to go through novice to open up medium, and then go through medium to open up high. The score is not a cumulative score in the ranking, so you just need your highest score of the 5 days when you put it together. So as we kind of play with the team over the next 2 or 3 days, we can walk on what our team's going to be and see what's working well and what's not. But we can do all of that for free without spending any rubies. So I think we're going to do that. And then after 3 days, we should open all the way up to expert or maybe master, depending on how well we do. And we will be fighting in that area. And if we feel like we can do better and put different compositions together, at that point, I might buy extra tickets to try extra things. But for the time being, we're going to go ahead and jump in here and build our rare team. For now, we're going to focus on Ferulia, Yalmar, Toktan, Batu, and Zol. And then on deck, one of the considerations I was looking into was bringing in Andronica. She has a separate heal ability that actually gives everybody 10% life steal. So if the damage they deal, they actually heal themselves. So if we need extra durability, we're going to go ahead and bring her in and maybe swap her out with Zol or potentially Toktan. It just kind of depends on how the team is looking. But we do have all of these fragments that we've been storing up. So we're going to go ahead and summon these guys so we can fully enlighten each of these characters. They max out at level 5. Just as an FYI, as we start to summon these characters, you do need a total of 7 copies to fully enlighten them. So you need the initial copy plus 6 additional copies that you're going to feed into them. If you are going free to play and you're not ascending these champions, you can pull all those copies back out of these champions at any time. If you do ascend the champion, they will stay in the champion if it's an NFT, and it will not allow you to pull those champions back out. So I don't know that it matters too much right now, but we're going to go ahead and get those summoned and then get all of those folks enlightened and start moving stuff over. So we're about ready to move stuff over to our rare champions. We got them all enlightened. In order to enlighten them fully to level 5, you're going to also need 100 soul stones. For each of them. So that's something to keep in mind too. If you haven't been saving up your fragments from sweeping dungeons, you have plenty of time. There's 5 days. So if you just go through your daily energy and you sweep those dungeons, you can get copies of those characters within the next few days and keep enlightening them along the way. For the first 2 to 3 days, you're just going to be progressing through novice, medium, and high anyway. So it's not really going to slow you down a whole lot. I'm going to build a team similar to what we have here. So with Tuskrog and Palmera, that's going to be Yalmar and Toktan. So I'm going to go ahead and reset Tuskrog here. And he's going to give me all these resources and materials. And then I'm going to go ahead while I have those, and I'm going to go straight over to Yalmar. If I reset all the characters first, when I click this autofill, it's going to put him on a completely different level, and I'm going to have to press and hold this button for a very long time to get him where I want him. So this, if we do it one by one, it's a much faster way, and seeing how every single day we're going to be doing that, it's probably good to save a little bit of time. As we do that, we want to make sure we upgrade all of their skills to maximum to give them the best benefit and the best power. And then we will come back and take a peek at each of their skills briefly as we get ready to go into the fight. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and knock those out, and then I will bring you back in when it's done. All right, so we got our champs all outfitted with our gear here. With Yalmar, he is a tank, so we're going to try to make him tanky. Got his defense matches his affinity as well as his chest plate here, so he's got over 100,000 HP coming from here, and then also another 20% HP coming from Teriz's crossbow. On Toktan here, we got 2 of his pieces match him as well. We got up over 240,000 HP on that chest plate. That's kind of interesting. That's the benefit of a 15% stat versus a 10%. So that was level 10. This is level 9, and this is a 10. So with 1 level increase, I'm not going to pick up 140,000 HP. So as you level those up when they are the 15%, even if they don't match, that normal stat is going to be significantly better. If they match, it's even better because you get the green stat too. But with him, we got him dialed in there. We did get him with a defensive crossbow because he is a tank, so he's going to be up front tanking it up. On Batu, he is our back row damage dealer, so we're hoping to get him into a lot of attack. Currently, our boots are defense, so that's unfortunate. It'd be good to have attack. It'd also be good to have something with attack on it, which we have not gotten anything on this account with attack on it. So I feel like that's a little bit unfortunate, but I did push his level a little higher so that he will do a little more damage to make up for the fact that we don't have that attack on him. Ferulia is going to be doing all of the healing for us, and her heal kit is entirely based on attack. So ideally we'd have her in attack boots. We don't have any, so we're going to make do. Again, we don't have an attack back here either, so we're just trying to make her survivable with HP. And then on Zol here, we have him in defense boots, and so trying to just keep him alive the best we can. So let's briefly run through their kits just to make sure we know what they're doing. So Yalmar's got Cold Strike. He targets the nearest enemy and does an area attack twice, dealing 230%. We're up to 330% as physical damage. Cause slow, reduce attack speed, and attack by 10% for 6 seconds. If the slowed enemies move too much, seems pretty vague, too much, they will be stunned for 4 seconds. So I'll be interested to see how much too much is. But hopefully it'll help out with some crowd control, and stun for 4 seconds will be pretty good. His passive is parry. Incoming melee attacks have a 20% chance to be parried, which reduces damage by 50%. After each successful parry, deal 150% of attack as physical damage to nearby enemies. So that's a pretty cool passive. Toktan we talked about in the main account, but we're going to touch base with him real quick here. He has a passive where he's resisting magic damage by 50% when he runs this. And then his active ability here is for the next 4 seconds, he reflects all physical damage onto the enemy. And then for us, it's actually going to be 7 seconds. So that's a pretty big win, having him up front, just reflecting physical damage and then taking half of the magic damage. So that's pretty cool. And then every 4 seconds for us, Toktan energizes his next basic attack, causing it to stun for 2 seconds. So a little bit of crowd control built in there. With Batu, we got Deadly Aim. Takes Deadly Aim and unleashes a powerful shot on a random enemy that deals 250%. We're up at 360%, so it should hit pretty hard of attack as physical damage and knocks them back. So this is why you'd really want to have him in attack boots, and ideally with attack crossbow or some sort of accessory, because that 360% can hit really hard. Nimble Fingers, Batu has a 10% chance to fire 2 arrows during each basic attack, and that gets stepped up to a 50% when he's maxed out. To max out a rare character, you just have to get them to level 80 and it will max out their entire skill. All of our characters at level 100 or higher, so their skills will be maxed out. Ferulia, we got Nature's Gift. She's going to channel healing energy into the lowest HP ally, healing them for 620% of her attack power. The healed ally also has 20% increased defense for the next 6 seconds. So this increase is actually stepped all the way up to 680% of her attack. Again, having attack boots would be a big win here, as well as an accessory with attack would also make these heals pretty substantial. I did notice on the other account that one of the heals from Ferulia was more than enough to heal any of our allies entirely. So having a little less attack for now may not be a bad, and won't be detrimental. But ideally, when we get into the rooms where we're trying to put our best final score forward, we can have her in attack boots and maybe an attack accessory. Her passive here, or excuse me, her secondary ability is also a heal. It's Healer's Heart. She targets the ally with the lowest HP and recovers their HP by 500% of her attack over 5 seconds. So that's going to be a big win there, just doing all the healing to keep us topped off. If her heals are a little weak, that's where we could start looking into bringing Andronica in with the lifesteal and see about supplementing her heals. But for the time being, we're going to get that extra 5% with Zol, so we're going to give that a shot. Forbidden Magic. Zol uses Forbidden Magic to deal 250% of attack as magic damage to an enemy and silence him for 3 seconds. Silenced targets cannot perform attacks that cause magic damage. So it's a little bit of crowd control there, as well as a pretty hard hit with 360% of his attack there. And then Dark Forces increase skill damage by 20%, and we're actually up to 60% having that maxed out. So that's going to be the team comp. I think it's going to be pretty effective the way that it is. We're going to go ahead and jump on in here in Novice. And so this event plays a lot like Endless Mode, where you just you go until you die. The first rooms are pretty easy. You're going to kind of roll through them, and then you go all the way until you can't go anymore. They do bombard you with curses. And so you do your best to stay away from some of the really damaging curses, such as Bone Spur I did not see in here. So the reflection of damage I did not see. But Inhibition, where you can't use your skill for 10 seconds, as well as Exhaustion, were both in here. This here tends to be the curse that you want to avoid. It gets down when you kill an enemy, they hold on to 1 HP and become invincible for 5 seconds. So this right here gives you 5 seconds of extra damage that your players are taking on, and in a lot of cases can make a big difference in whether or not you stay alive. But we're going to go ahead and press on through these. I expect we'll probably get to level 30, 35 because we are on Novice, and we do have some pretty good gear going on these characters. We're going to roll through these first levels. So I will bring you back when we get there, and then we will move on to Medium. All right, so we went out in room 35 with 9,430 points there. So we opened up the Medium. As you're going through these rooms, you only need to pass level 20. But if you get past, in order to open up the next room, you just have to pass level 20 of the previous dungeon. But if you do get through level 23, you get that extra chest too. So I'd recommend trying to get at least past level 23. But that is where we ended up there with 9,400 points. So we look at the ranking with the leaderboard there. That puts us at 1,400th. But as we move up, we're obviously going to score more points the higher up we go. So we're going to move into Medium and see how well we do there. All right, so we're rolling up on room 29. So we got all the chests for Medium. We did lose Yalmar and Toktan, so we're probably going to get destroyed in this room. But honestly, at this point, it doesn't really matter. All we're looking to do is open up high level, and then when we beat high, we're going to look to open up expert and then master. I think I'd be pretty impressed with this team if we're able to fight in the master, but I think an expert is probably where we're going to find our high score. So getting to room 30 in medium mode got us 12,000 points. So it did move us up the rankings a little bit, but ultimately we're not going to get anywhere near these scores until we get into master and legendary. But for this account, being the free-to-play, I'm actually just kind of hoping to get into that master, if not expert, and just put together a good score of 75,000 maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe try to hit maybe the top 100 or top 500, something like that. The free-to-play account's not even a month old, so, it's kind of a little bit harder to get that done. So, but I am pretty impressed with the way the team's shaping up. Got all the people dialed in, and they're working really well. The synergy is good. So having the 2 tanks up front is dispersing the damage coming in between Yalmar and Toktan. I'll probably get Toktan up to level 120 sooner than later. In fact, we got the scrolls right here, so we could actually do it. But we will be moving these scrolls back and forth between our main champs and the rare champs in order to do this event. So We'll have to. I think he came with Palmera, so Palmera is going to hit 120 as well, which is pretty fun. But that's what I got for you today on the event, the building blocks. I think it's super fun that they're kind of forcing us to use rare characters, so it's something we're not really familiar with. I think it levels the playing field quite a bit, and it's kind of new content to go through, even though it is a lot like Endless Battle, but with the rare characters, it's definitely more challenging and has its own level of strategy going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. It means the world to me. We are creeping up on those 500 subscribers, and when we get there, we will be giving away an NFT character, and I can't wait to do that. I look forward to seeing you guys next time.